My beloved soul, I welcome you here with tenderness, with peace, with the voice of truth that comes not from the noise of the world, but from the eternal heart of Jesus. Today, I speak to you not as someone abandoned, not as someone discarded, but as a child of God who has carried questions heavier than mountains. You have wondered why someone who once held your hand, someone who once whispered love, someone who once made you believe in forever, chose instead to ruin the connection, to step away, to silence what could have been a song. Jesus says to you today, my beloved child, this person wants to tell you the truth. They ruined this connection, not because love was absent, but because truth was buried. They ruined it, not because your heart was weak, but because their spirit was not ready. They ruined it, not because you lacked worth, but because fear weighed heavier than love in their soul. And you need to know, beloved soul, that this truth is not meant to break you further. It is meant to free you, because for too long you have carried the question, was I not enough? Was I too much? Did I love too deeply? Did I trust too quickly? For too long you have replayed memories like broken tapes in your mind, looking for the exact moment where things shifted, for the precise word that might have cut, for the gesture that might have turned the tide. But Jesus says, stop searching for your fault, because the ruin was not built on your foundation. It was built on their fear, their silence, their wounds they never allowed me to heal. My beloved soul, hear me clearly. When someone carries unhealed pain, when someone holds shame and guilt close to their chest, when someone walks through life wearing masks to cover scars, love feels like exposure. You did not just love them, you saw them. You looked past their practiced smile, past their polished words, past their proud armor. You saw the trembling soul, the child within, the brokenness they tried to hide from the world. And though your seeing was love, they received it as threat, because to be seen fully meant they could no longer pretend. So instead of leaning in, they leaned away. Instead of confessing, they concealed. Instead of opening their hands, they closed their fists. And in doing so, they ruined a connection that could have healed them, that could have restored them, that could have been the miracle they prayed for in silence. Jesus whispers now, my beloved, do not let their ruin define you. Do not let their silence write your story. Do not let their fear teach you to fear love too, because though they pulled away, though they left questions unanswered, I have not abandoned you. I remain the God who writes new beginnings. I remain the Father who restores. And so, the truth they could not tell you then, I will tell you now. They ruined the connection because they were afraid of how much they loved you. They ruined it because to love you meant they had to face themselves. They ruined it because your love was light, and light reveals shadows. They thought they could hide, but love uncovered them. And instead of standing naked in that truth, they clothed themselves in distance, in excuses, in silence. But child, know this. You were not ruined. The connection may have been broken, but your soul was not destroyed. Yes, you wept. Yes, you wondered. Yes, you felt the sting of betrayal, of confusion, of unanswered questions. But in every tear I was there. In every sleepless night I was whispering comfort. In every ache I was weaving healing even when you could not see it. My beloved, you need to hear this. Their inability to love you fully does not mean you are unlovable. Their fear of truth does not mean your love was false. Their silence does not mean your voice is powerless. Their ruin does not mean your destiny is ruined. What they could not tell you is that your presence in their life was divine interruption. You shook them. You challenged the narrative they carried. You broke through walls they had built for years. And though they fought it, though they resisted it, they knew you were different. They knew your love was not ordinary. They knew your presence was not by chance. And that terrified them. They ruined the connection because in their mind, leaving felt safer than staying. Running felt easier than explaining. Breaking you felt simpler than confessing themselves. But do not confuse their escape with lack of love. They loved you, but their love was wrapped in chains. chained to their past, chained to their fears, chained to the voices that told them they were not enough, chained to lies that whispered they would only hurt you. Beloved soul, this truth is not to excuse their choices. This truth is not to say their silence was right. This truth is to give you peace. Because the enemy would have you believe that you were the problem, that your love was too heavy, that your trust was too much. But heaven declares, you were not the weight. You were the anchor. You were not the storm. You were the calm. You were not the ruin. You were the refuge. And while they turned away, while they sabotaged what could have been salvation, Jesus says, I will not let your love be wasted. I will use even this heartbreak to shape you. I will use even this silence to teach you to hear my voice louder. I will use even this ruin to rebuild you stronger, softer, deeper, freer. So, child, rest. Do not chase the why anymore. The why was never yours to carry. Rest in this. The connection broke because they could not face truth. And truth will always demand courage. They lacked courage, but you do not. You stand today still loving, still believing, still open. And that openness will lead you into greater blessings. Because I, the Lord your God, am not finished. Where one connection crumbled, I can weave another. Where one person silenced their truth, I will raise another who speaks with honesty. Where one chose fear, I will send another who chooses faith. My beloved soul, release them into my hands. Pray for them if you must. Love them from afar if you choose, but do not hold their ruin as your burden. For the truth is, they ruined the connection not because you were wrong for them, but because they were not ready for you. And now, child, I am preparing someone who will be ready. Someone who will not run when seen. Someone who will not silence truth but will speak it boldly. Someone who will not ruin love but will cherish it as the sacred gift it is. Until then, let your heart breathe again. Let your soul know peace. Let truth, my truth, heal you. My beloved soul, as we continue in this holy flow, Jesus leans closer to your heart, whispering truths that reach beyond the walls of silence you have carried. Part of you still wonders, if they wanted to tell me the truth, why did they choose ruin instead? Why did they allow destruction where there could have been honesty? Why did they let fear write the ending of a story that began with love? Jesus says to you gently, Beloved, people ruin what they cannot handle. They destroy what reveals their weakness. They run from what demands they grow. And though their actions wounded you, I want you to know they were not rejecting your worth. They were resisting their own truth. Understand this, child. Truth is heavy for the unprepared heart. To admit mistakes, to confess fears, to reveal scars, these things require courage. And when courage is absent, fear chooses the easier path of ruin. It is easier to push someone away than to stand exposed. It is easier to hide behind silence than to speak words that reveal shame. It is easier to break the bridge than to walk across it trembling. But the truth they wanted to tell you, the truth they never could, is this. They loved you more than they admitted. They needed you more than they showed. They dreamed of you more than they confessed. And because of that, they felt powerless. They feared the weight of what you awakened in them, because it meant they could no longer pretend they were whole while hiding their fractures. My beloved soul, Jesus wants you to hear this. They did not ruin the connection because it was false. They ruined it because it was too real. Realness terrified them. Love unmasked them. Intimacy stripped them of control. And instead of stepping into healing, they stepped into escape. But let me remind you, child, your destiny was never tied to someone else's courage. Your worth was never defined by someone else's choices. Their silence cannot silence you. Their absence cannot erase you. Their ruin cannot end you. For I am the author of your story, and I do not end my beloved's chapters in confusion. The ruin they created left you standing in ashes, but even ashes speak. Ashes tell the story of fire, and fire tells the story of transformation. From ashes I raise beauty, from ruins I build strength, from silence I call forth songs, and from betrayal I give you wisdom. Beloved, they wanted to tell you, I broke this because I was afraid. I walked away because I did not know how to stay. I loved you, but I did not know how to love you right. I ruined us because I was still wrestling with me. They wanted to speak it, but their lips never formed the words. Still, heaven heard the unspoken truth, and now heaven delivers it to you so your heart may finally rest. Jesus says, do not harden your heart because of their ruin. Do not let disappointment build walls where you once carried gardens. Do not let bitterness poison the sweetness of your soul. For what they destroyed, I can rebuild in you. What they ruined, I can restore beyond measure. My beloved, when I let someone leave, it is not to punish you. It is to protect you. I knew their ruin would become your revelation. I knew their silence would draw you deeper into my voice. I knew their absence would make space for my presence. And I knew their fear would teach you to value courage in love. So, rest now in this truth. You are not cursed by what was lost. You are blessed by what remains. Your strength, your faith, your heart that still dares to love. Do not mourn what could have been forever, for I have better prepared. Your story does not end in ruins, it begins again in glory. Beloved soul, allow your spirit to breathe again. Let go of rehearsing their choices. Let go of analyzing their silence. Let go of carrying questions that will never be answered by them, because I have already answered them for you. And my answer is peace. My answer is healing. My answer is hope. The ruin was not your end. It was their choice. But your destiny remains in my hand. Listen closely, for Jesus continues to unveil what your heart has longed to understand. In the silence of nights when you wondered why everything shifted. In the quiet moments when memories felt heavier than your breath, you whispered into the darkness, Lord, what happened? Why did they ruin something so pure? Why did they walk away instead of holding on? Why did they turn what was sacred into sorrow? And today Jesus answers you, not with anger, not with judgment, but with the voice of mercy that holds both you and the one who broke this connection. He says, child, they wanted to tell you the truth. It was not you who drove them away. It was not your love that broke the bond. It was not your heart that failed. It was their inability to hold honesty in their hands. It was their fear of being seen. It was the shadows of their past pressing so heavily upon their present that they believed ruin was easier than revelation. My beloved, you need to hear this again. They did not ruin the connection because they stopped caring. They ruined it because caring too deeply forced them to face themselves. And they were not ready. Love reveals. It uncovers. It strips away layers until only the naked soul remains. And when someone has spent years hiding behind walls, when someone has taught themselves to survive with masks, to suddenly be seen feels like being undone. That undoing was not your fault. That unraveling was not your burden. You did not break them. Your love revealed where they were already broken. They wanted to confess, I am afraid. I am still carrying wounds I never told you about. I am haunted by mistakes I never forgave myself for. I am insecure in ways I cannot explain. And because you saw me too clearly, I panicked. I ran. I sabotaged what I secretly cherished. That is the truth they buried. The truth they wanted to tell, but never did. My beloved soul, hear me. Ruin was their decision, but healing is mine. They chose silence, but I choose revelation. They chose distance, but I choose nearness. They chose fear, but I call you into love that is fearless, steady, eternal. Do not confuse their choices with my will for you. My will is not for you to live in confusion. My will is not for you to dwell in questions that loop endlessly. My will is to set you free, to anchor your heart in truth so strong it cannot be shaken by human weakness. And here is that truth. You are worthy of love that does not flinch. You are worthy of honesty that does not hide. You are worthy of connection that does not crumble under pressure. You are worthy of a partner who speaks the truth in love, even when it is hard, even when it is raw, even when it reveals imperfection. Beloved, The ruin they created is not the final word. For every ruin I have a restoration. For every silence I have a song. For every broken bridge I build a new path. And while they may never gather the courage to tell you face to face why they did what they did, I have already told you. They ruined the connection because fear ruled them more than faith. Shame bound them tighter than love freed them. But you are not bound. You are free. You are rising. You are walking into a season where truth will not hide from you. I am sending voices, connections, opportunities that are drenched in light, where there will be no masks, no hidden motives, no unspoken shadows. Child, let the ruin teach you, not cage you. Let it sharpen your discernment, not harden your heart. Let it remind you that not every silence is rejection. Sometimes silence is simply someone's inability to face the music of their own soul, and though they drop the melody, I will compose a new song in you. So breathe, my beloved. Release the weight of unanswered questions. You have the answer now, and the answer is enough. They ruined the connection because they could not face their truth. But you will walk forward in truth, and truth will set you free. My beloved soul, we have walked together through the weight of silence, through the ruins of what once felt eternal, through the ache of questions left unanswered. And now Jesus leans close, not to revisit your sorrow, but to lift you into a higher place, a place where the truth becomes not just explanation, but liberation. For this is what he says, child, their ruin was not your ending, their silence was not your final chapter. Their fear did not cancel my love for you, and their absence did not erase my presence beside you. I am still here, steady, unchanging, constant in ways they never could be. I am the truth they could not speak. I am the healing they could not offer. I am the future they could not see. Beloved, you have carried the image of their leaving, the sound of their silence, the sharpness of their betrayal in the softest corners of your soul. You replayed the moments when their eyes shifted away, when their tone turned cold, when the connection slipped through your hands, though you held it with care. And for a time, you believed that maybe if you had been better, quieter, stronger, less, more, maybe then the ruin would not have come. But I tell you now, my beloved, let those thoughts die. You were never the reason for their ruin. The truth they could not tell you, the truth they buried in shame, is that they were fighting battles you could not see. They carried chains you did not place on them. They wrestled with shadows that had haunted them long before you came. And when love revealed them, they panicked. They wanted to say, "It is not you, it is the fear in me. It is not that I do not love you. It is that I do not know how to love without breaking. It is not that you are wrong. It is that I am still wounded." But the words never reached their lips. Instead, they let ruin speak where truth should have lived. And here is the revelation, my child. Ruin is not the end when I hold the pen. What they destroyed, I can recreate. What they silenced, I can proclaim. What they abandoned, I can redeem. For I am the God who wastes nothing, not even heartbreak. You ask, Lord, why did you let it happen? Why let my heart break if you knew they would leave? Why let me love if you knew they would run? Why let me build when you knew they would destroy? And I answer, Beloved, I let it happen because love is never wasted. Even when it is not returned, love shapes you. Even when it is cut short, love grows you. Even when it ends in tears, love waters your soil. That connection, though ruined, awakened depths in you that will never be lost. It taught you what you can give, what you can endure, what you can rise from. And though they did not value it, I have counted every seed you sowed, and I will bring a harvest from it. My beloved soul, do not fear the future because of their failure. Do not shrink from love because of their leaving. Do not close your heart because of their silence. For I am preparing a connection that will not ruin but redeem. A love that will not silence but sing. A bond that will not crumble but endure. But first, child, I want you to see yourself through my eyes. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not forgotten in the ruins. You are not unworthy of truth or love. You are my chosen, my beloved, my treasure. And no human action can remove that seal from you. Lift your head, my child. The ruins are behind you, but glory lies ahead. The silence is behind you, but songs wait to be sung. The tears are behind you, but joy is coming in the morning. What they ruined was only one chapter. The story is far from over. For hear this promise: I will give you beauty for ashes, joy for mourning, praise for heaviness. I will restore the years that seemed stolen. I will redeem the nights that felt wasted. I will heal the heart that felt shattered. And I will lead you into a future so radiant that the ruins will look like stepping stones compared to where I am taking you. So, my beloved soul, forgive where you must forgive. Release what you cannot change. Bless even those who hurt you, for blessing heals your spirit faster than bitterness ever will. And trust me, trust that I see, I know, I redeem. The truth they never spoke is no longer hidden. You carry it now, and with truth comes freedom. Step into that freedom. Step into the light of new beginnings. Step into the love I have prepared. For your story, child, is only beginning.